أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا. These are first few verses of the Holy Quran from Surah Annaba. This Surah Annaba is number 78 Surah in Quran, and it is the first Surah in Juz 30. So I have started explaining Quran and translating it into Japanese and from the last Juz 30. The reason is that in most of our Arabic school where they teach religion, or in most of the mosque where young people go to memorize entire Holy Quran and become Hafiz, it is a tradition that they are first asked to memorize the last Juz 30, which in Pakistan we call Para. And in some cases, they want to learn it in the reverse order. I mean, first learn Qul A'udhu bi Rabbin Nas, then Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq, then Qul Huwallahu Ahad in the reverse order. Because this smallest surah are at the last, in the last of the Holy Quran, and these small surah are memorized by almost every Muslim, because we have to read some surah in our 5-time prayers. So most of the Muslims, almost all of them, surely memorize the last surahs, which are very brief and small and easy to remember. So therefore, if most of us who are not Arabic speaking people, we do not understand what is the meaning. So therefore, I have started first from the last para 30, in order that we understand the meaning of Quran, especially those surah which we have to read regularly during our salat and which are easy to remember and which are small. So this change of order is only for the convenience, but as a matter of fact, it should be first juz alif lam mim and second juz sayaqul, like this. The order should be there, should be that way, which is the natural order. That order of Quran will remain same until the day of Qiyamah. It started during the days of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his Khulafa Rashidin. Even today it is the same order, and in Taraweeh we read it in the same order, and until Qiyamah the same order of Quran will remain as it is. This is just for learning and trying to understand Quran, that we have changed the order for the purpose of understanding its teaching in a way which is easy for us to understand. It is just for convenience, not any change of the Quran. So even Allah Ta'ala himself did not reveal Quran during the 23 years in the order of as it is today, that Juz Alif Lam Mim's first and Sayaqul second, and Tilkar Rasul third. Quran was not revealed in this order. Quran was revealed in different order. Some verses, whenever Allah felt necessary, He revealed. Whenever He thought it is the good timing now to apply it on the situation which was there at that time. So these have been revealed on different times and different occasions and different situations. But during the days of Prophet and his Khulafa Rashidin, they were compiled in this order which we have today, and it will remain the same order of Quran until the day of Qiyamah. Nobody is going to change it. If I am explaining Quran from the last one, last para, last juz, I am not changing the order of Quran. The order of Quran will remain as it is. Just for our understanding and convenience, we are doing this. And secondly, the reason is that this last juz contains those surah which are mostly revealed in during the Makkah. During the Makkah period, Muslims were very much victimized. They had to suffer a lot of atrocities from the kuffar, and they had to have a strong iman, a strong faith. Without a strong faith, they could not have done anything. So, therefore, to emphasize the basic faith, uh, which is based on Tawheed, Risalat, and Akhirat, Allah has revealed these surahs during the Makkah, and their whole emphasis is for these three uh, faiths: the Tawheed, Risalat, and Akhirat. So most of the surahs are for these basic things, and what Allah has emphasized their importance and also given several arguments from different angles, from different point of view, to let this thing be strong in our mind and heart, that this faith is very important and our character and morality should be built on that. And among these three things, most basic thing is the faith in Akhirat, that we have to believe that there is a life after death, and there is a actual, there is a spiritual life from death until the day of Qiyamah. There is a barzakh, life in barzakh it is called, which is without the physical body. But after the day of Qiyamah, we believe that the same body which I have today will again be given to me after the date of Qiyamah. So this thought is, and there we will be rewarded or punished according to our deeds in this world. So therefore, this very thought has been given more importance especially in this surah, and also the surahs related with this. Related means some surahs which are before this and some surahs which are after that. They are also the same central idea, the same theme about Akhirah and the day of Qiyamah and the life after death, life after Qiyamah. So all this whole surah is mainly to develop and strengthen the idea of life after death and life of Akhirah. So what I have done here is I have followed the translation and explanations of a great alim of the Muslim world. I am not an alim myself. I am not a hafiz. I do not have any qualification from any madrasa and any religious school. But I have been following the works and books of a great alim which is recognized as a good and authentic alim all over the world. All over the world, I will explain later how. But first I explain that in the context of Pakistan, He had been also a great alim, Allama Iqbal, who was the architect and the ideologue of Pakistan idea, who gave the idea of Pakistan in India, which was under the control of British. He invited this Maulana Sayyid Abulala Maududi to come to Punjab area in India. At that time, he was in the south of India, which was called Hyderabad Deccan. On the invitation of Allama Iqbal, a very famous scholar known to everyone in the world, to Punjab area in the city of Pathankot. There, Allama Iqbal arranged some land from a landlord to donate to Maulana Maududi to establish here a Darul Islam, a locality based on the Islamic principles, and he was assigned the work to make research about the Islamic State, what should be the economy of the Islamic State, how its banking should run without interest, how sovereignty should rest in Allah and should be based on shura, democracy, both in sovereignty belonging to Allah, but elected by the shura or the members through democratic process. Similarly, what should be the social system of Islam? What should be the spiritual system of Islam? What should be the moral system of Islam? So Allama Iqbal gave him this task that he produce a team of researchers and scholars, and he himself make research on these aspects in modern days in 20th century and 21st century, and how we can apply the principles of Islam in the modern age. So this was his contribution before the partition, and his second contribution was that some ulama in India opposed the idea of Pakistan and called the one nation theory. That whole India, whether it's Muslims or Hindus, they are all one nation. So they should have an independent as a one country. But Muslim scholars and even it came later, the idea of Pakistan was based on two nation theory. That Muslims are a different nation and they cannot be the same nation as the Hindus, although they are living in the same country, but our culture is different, our civilization is different, our social ways are different, everything is different, and we have to establish Sharia in our state. We cannot impose Sharia on Hindus and other religions. So therefore, the idea of Pakistan was based on two nation theory, that we want a separate state from India based on Islam, where we could all Muslims live together, or where they could have Islamic system of life and Sharia also, implement Sharia also. So this was the two nation theory which was supported by Maulana Maududi, and he strongly opposed the ideas of some other ulama who were pleading one nation theory. So far as the Muslim League, which has led the movement for Pakistan, it needed some intellectual support and some support from the great ulama like Maududi, who wrote books, and the Muslim League workers used to take that book. He had written one book, Muslims and the Present Political Struggle, in three volumes. The first volume was used by the Muslim League workers. They used to go around the whole country, to town, to village, and city to city, and propagate this two nation theory, which was written in such books, which was written by Maulana Maududi. My elder brother was a student of Aligarh University, MA LLB. He also used to, when I was just a small boy, So I saw he moving with his friends all around India, going to different cities with the book of Maududi propagating two-nation theory. However, this was his contribution before the partition. And after the partition, Muhammad Ali Jinnah also assigned him the task that we are trying to make Pakistan a Muslim and an Islamic country according to the principles of Islam on the model of Medina. And he asked Maududi that you prepared such persons, such scholars, such people who can carry out this mission of running an Islamic state. And he also he was given the opportunity on Pakistan radio to explain the Islamic political system, Islamic economic system, Islamic social system, Islamic education system, Islamic moral system, Islamic spiritual system in his speeches on Radio Pakistan. So he was not only recognized in Pakistan as a first and as an alim of first grade, even all over the world. When Shah Faisal of Saudi Arabia, he started an award on the pattern of the Nobel Prize that he wanted to give award and prize to the number one alim in the whole Islamic world. Now there are 55 or 56 Muslim states, and he, even at that time, whatever the number of states or even non-Muslim states, if there is a great alim, he used to choose and give award. So Maulana Sayyid Abul-Alam Maududi was the first man who was awarded first Faisal award as a greatest and the number one scholar in the Muslim world. So he was recognized as an authentic scholar, not only in Pakistan, but all over the world, all over the Muslim world, and all over the Arabian world and other Muslim countries. Therefore, I have selected, and I am also one of his followers, and I have all the explanation of Quran I am doing, or translation I am doing in Japanese language. It is all based on the ideas and the way he has explained Quran to us. So that is based on this authentic scholar. All my Japanese translation and also same thing I am explaining in Urdu, and now I am explaining the same ideas and same explanations in my way. In the points are from him, but I am explaining them in my style with my knowledge in addition to whatever he has given the scientific knowledge of this 21st century. So in this way, he has one peculiarity of Maulana translation is that most of the translations they translate for each verse. For example, on the one side, Arabic Quran is there, original Arabic Quranic verse, and then the translation against that one ayah is given, one by one for each verse of Quran. But Maulana Maududi did not adopt this style. He used to divide it, every surah, into several paragraphs. So those paragraphs may consist of 5 verses or 2 verses or 10 verses or 15 verses, whatever one idea, as long as there is one idea in one paragraph, he used to divide the whole surah into different paragraphs to give the complete picture of the whole paragraph or the idea given in those few verses which are divided as a paragraph. So the same style I have adopted in my translation into Japanese or Urdu or English. Actually, his translation in Urdu and English is already available, but explanations based on his explanations, I have added my own knowledge into that. So that are not in that style in which I am presenting here. The points are the same, but the material in those points are not the way I am presenting. The words and the material may be different, but the same thing I am also trying to present as much as possible. So far as the central idea in this surah is concerned, as I explained earlier, in all Meccan surah, the same central ideas are there. That is about Tawheed, Risalat, and Akhirah. So in this surah also the same thing is there, but a special emphasis has been laid on the life after death and the life in Akhirah. As a matter of fact, for the Meccan people and even for the people in the entire world, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim, idea of Tawheed is not that much difficult to understand. And people, so far as the existence of God is concerned, almost all the people in the world, from the beginning until today or even afterward, there are very few people who completely deny the existence of God. Even the great scientists like Newton, Einstein, they all accept there is one God who has created the universe. As a creator of the universe, as a creator of these heavens and earth, every human being, most of them, accept the existence of one God. Problem is, in case of Islam, we do not have any partner with the God. But in all other religions, they ascribe certain functions to some other powers other than that one God which we call Allah. So this partnership with Allah is not accepted in Islam, and same was the case with the people in Makkah during the days of Prophet. The second idea of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was also not difficult for the Meccan people, although they denied the prophethood of the Prophet Muhammad, but their denial was not so strong. The reason is they had seen the life of the Prophet before he became Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was just an ordinary man among the Meccan people. So before the age of 40, they have seen his life for 40 years, and they found he is a very honest man. They believed in his integrity, in his honesty, and in his truthfulness. And there are many examples that during, even before becoming prophet, how much Meccan people used to trust him. There are certain incidents about the Kaaba, uh, who will put the Hajar Aswad there. So many stories, which is not the topic here. Point is that they had even complete trust in him, even when he migrated to Medina. He gave all the money and other things which were kept with him by the kuffar of Makkah, because they trusted him. They did not accept him as a prophet, but they trusted him as a truthful man, a man who has honesty. So this very confidence of theirs in the personality of the prophet as a truthful human being was evident to them. But when he declared that he is the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, ordained by God, they started denying him. So, but regarding this denial, their denial was not so strong as their denial was for the life after death and the life of Akhirah, and they had different ideas and different opinions about the Akhirah. They cannot believe that when a man is become just becomes just like small pieces of sand, and he has no more bones and bones. So how these bones and pieces of sand can again become together and again being a human being bodily as we are today? This idea they cannot accept, and their strongest challenge was to this idea. But on the other hand, on our part, without the faith in this akhirat and the life after death of the hell and heaven, one cannot build morality nor character nor nothing. Nothing is possible without this faith. And the whole system of Islam is based on the good character and good morality. Every religion speaks the man should have truthfulness, should be honest, should be good. No religion teaches that one should lie or make robbery or kill people. No one teaches. But all of them don't have this sanction force to motivate man to remain adamant to these ideals. Even we, most of the Muslims, we cannot remain true to our teaching of Islam just because that if our faith in the life of after death is not strong enough, we cannot overcome the temptations for sin, temptations for dishonesty, temptations which Shaitan, devil offers us to do bad things. So this cannot be overcome until our faith in the life of after is strong. So that is why most of the Makkan Surah, they are all about the life of after, about all these three faiths, and especially about the life after death. Because during the Makkan life, all the Sahaba, most of them, were in a state of victimization. They were victimized by the people of Makkah. They had to undergo a lot of torture. They had to undergo a lot of atrocities. And they had to suffer it with patience and with sabr. For that reason, they required a lot of strong faith in Allah, a strong faith in the prophethood, and especially strong faith in the life after that, in the hope of having a good life, eternal good life. They can suffer some temporary torture or some other things. So this is the thing that this subject also is prime subject in this surah, and in my Japanese translation I have emphasized that Islam, based in having good character and good morality, and that morality character is impossible without without a strong faith in the life after death. And similarly, the Islam is not confined to only individual and personal and spiritual life. Islam wants a practical and good uh, economic system based on justice and equality and fairness. Same thing, it wants a political system and social system and moral system, everything based on justice, morality, fairness, equality, freedom, all the big ideals which Western society or every society in the world has. Islam also wants the same thing, and also not in only individual life, but entire in the human life, all aspects of human life, and that is not possible without a strong faith in Akhirah. So this surah emphasizes that aspect. So therefore, it starts with that very discussion. The first five verses are the uh, first five verses of the Holy Quran speak about this matter of Akhirah. It says like this: "Amma tasalun anin nabai lazim lazi hum fihi mukhtalifun kalla sayalamun summa kalla sayalamun." It's more or less meaning. It's not the exact translation. More or less meaning is that about what matter they are discussing and having doubts and discussion. Are they discussing about this the great news, Nabai Lazim? What is that great news? It means about the Akhirah, Qiyamah. There will be a Qiyamah. There will be a last day of judgment, and then the people will be divided. with according to their deeds and faith into hell and heaven going. Some people going hell, some people going to heaven. This day, are they discussing that such a day is not possible, or they are having doubts? Then is it the matter they have different opinion? Everybody has something to say. Of course, they will know on some day what is the truth. When the truth will appear, they will know what is the truth. This is one style of replying the thing. Suppose a man says that tonight the sun has started closed. From tomorrow there will be no sun. And he may give a lot of scientific reasons or something that the age of sun has finished today according to his scientific calculation, and tomorrow there will be no sun. He may deny it as much as he like, but when the tomorrow appears, the sun will appear. The point is a fact will not finish or wipe out simply because you deny it. You deny it or you don't deny it, the fact remains a fact. Whether you accept the coming of rising of sun tomorrow or not, sun will rise, whether you accept it or not. Similarly, the day of judgment will occur, whether you accept it or not. When it occurs, then it will be too late for you. What is the use if on that day you come to know, oh, there was a day of judgment and there is a life after death? No use for you. So therefore, some scholars have given this certain argument that even though scientifically there is no laboratory where you can prove that there is a life after death, because after death nobody knows what happens. The life after death and akhirah, hell and heaven, nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows is okay. Then you lead your life suppose suppose there is a life after that, suppose there is a hell, suppose there is some heaven. On this supposition you build your life and you become a good man. That if such a life is there, you will be rewarded if you remain a good man with a strong faith. And if you become a bad man, you will be punished. With this supposition, you will lead your life, and after death, you find there was no such thing. There was no hell and no heaven and no day of judgment. Then you lose nothing. You have spent your life as a good man in this world. You are losing nothing. But suppose you lived a life without this supposition, and you do not become a good man, an honest man, and all this, you don't care. You feel that there is no other life. But if it happens to be the other life, you will be a great failure. At that time, you cannot do. It is too late. After that, you cannot become a good man and cannot stop all the bad activities which you have done in your life here. So therefore, this is also one argument that even if you have no laboratory proof of the life after death, you have a life on that supposition and you will be rewarded if there is any such akhira. So therefore, here first line of argumentation here is that first see that whether you deny it or you don't deny it, the fact will appear one day, but that day it will be too late for you. Now, after this first paragraph, the line of argumentation differs. There, Allah has given these other verses. Alam najalil arda mihadum wal jibala awtadum wa khalaqnakum azwajum wa ja'alna nawmakum subatum wa ja'alna al-layla libasum wa ja'alna al-nahara ma'ashum wa banayna fawqakum sab'an shidadum wa ja'alna sirajum wa wahhajum wa anzalna min al-musirati ma'an sajjajal لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا. So these are two paragraphs here, and in both these paragraphs the line of argument is different from what was the style in the first paragraph. I will see, I think I have the proper translation of these verses in English. Yes, I have it here in the paragraph voice translation which has been published by some translator of Maulana Maududi in English. Regarding the first five verses, the translation is about what are they inquiring? Is it about the great news connecting which they are at variance? By no means. They shall soon know. Yes, by no means. They shall soon know. These are the five first verses which have been translated in this way. Then from 6 to 16, the Arabic which I have read before you, the translation is like this. Is it not a fact that we have made the earth a bed and set the mountains as specks and created you as pairs of men and women and made your sleep for rest and the night a covering and the day for seeking livelihood and established above you seven strong heavens and set a bright blazing lamp and rained water from the clouds in abundance that we may produce thereby corn and vegetables and lush gardens. So now in this second paragraph in the verses 6 and 16, the nature of argument changes. In the first five graphs, it is said that you accept or you don't accept, a fact will remain fact and it will be known to you when its time comes. But now the God is taken the style of asking a counter question to those people who deny the working of God or the promise of God or the word of God. He is asking question. Don't you see that we have made an earth? An earth is here like a bed, like a floor. Don't you see that we have created mountains which are working as pecs? And don't you see that we have created human being in the form of pairs, men and women? They are not all men and they are not all women. He has created both pairs, men and women. Do you not see that He has created the sleep for you? Yeah, had you been without sleep whole life, you cannot exist. He has created the mechanism of sleep that your body can take rest. Don't you see that we have made the night comfortable for your sleep? If there is no night, your sleep will not be so comfortable. Similarly, don't you see that we have made the day a bright, a bright day where you can seek your livelihood? If there had been no day, all dark and nothing, then it would not have been easy for you to make living. Don't you see that we have made heaven? Here it says seven strong heavens. We don't know the significance of seven, but anyhow, everybody knows there are heavens. So don't you see how these heavens came into being? Is it not we who created this? And don't you see that we have set a bright blazing lamp means sun? Don't you see how the sun came into existence? How it gives brightness and heat and everything for the human life? And also, don't you see that we have made the arrangement of rain? This rainwater, a mechanism has been made that from the clouds. It is raining where Allah feels that where it should be raining at places. It decides to rain. And as a result of rain, don't you see there is a lot of abundance. It produces vegetables and food and gardens and everything which are all this phenomena of nature. Can you say that all this thing has come out accidentally, just by chance? Is it possible that just by chance all these things come together in such a way that they become beneficial for the human life? So such a thing is not possible. And as all this phenomena indicate that this whole universe has been made for a purpose and serving a purpose, and human life has become easy and possible because of this. So, is it not possible for such a strong God, such a Almighty God, who has made this whole phenomena of nature working and visible to us, and we are benefiting from it? He has also the power to give us a life and we again create us in the same body as we are today, in the life after death or after the day of Qiyamah. A powerful God, an omnipotent God, an almighty God who can do all this natural phenomena, create all this natural phenomena, why he will become unable to make the same human being again after the day of Qiyamah? So this is the line of reasoning here, that ultimately from this nature of phenomena, the argument goes for the existence of life after death. The other things we will continue in our next lesson, next video. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.